How much that boy weigh?
He's at least 3.
Cantavius is a big dude.
Yeah, he's at least 3. I'm sure he's 3 and some change, but it's not even how much he weighs. It's the force in how he lands on you. Because when he lands on you, what happened was he crushed Drew Brees' body. He folded it. He didn't put an elbow in his ribs. Like, he literally crushed him. It's like me right now, Zubin. If I took both of my hands and squeezed as hard as I could on your midsection, you would feel it. That's what that was.
I'd be dead.
And I'll be in jail.
Hits like that is why I did not play football, man.
I'm telling you,
you keep talking about big quarterbacks, and now the more and more I see like mid-sized quarterbacks get hit, I'm like, Key got a point.
No question about it. So that's the big story. We're not going to have Brees this Sunday, and we'll see how many Sundays moving ahead. So it's time for Take Your Pick, starting with the game that many Saints fans were hoping Brees was going to be there for, but won't. Instead, it'll be, we think, Jameis Winston. Our NFL insider Diana Rossini said at least the Falcons, their opponent on Sunday, preparing for Winston to start with a little mixing in of Taysom Hill. So fellas, take your pick. Matt Ryan, who frankly could be auditioning for another team. Arthur Blank, the Falcons owner, said no guarantee he'll return. And Jameis Winston, who could be auditioning himself for Sean Payton or maybe one of the other 31 teams.
This is an audition for both of these guys right here. And you mentioned Matt Ryan's audition, but it's an audition for Matt Ryan for the Atlanta Falcons because Raheem Morris, if he's retained as a head coach, he certainly doesn't want to go into the season with the unknown. Matt Ryan is playing good football for Raheem Morris, but then when you flip it to Jameis Winston, you think about an audition for Jameis Winston. Yes, whatever it is, 1, 2, 3, 5 games, whatever the case may be. Sean Payton brought him in here to take over for Drew Brees. I know Sean Payton gave Taysom Hill a bunch of money. He won't say who the starting quarterback is going to be. He doesn't need to tell me. I know damn well he ain't resting on Taysom Hill as his quarterback of the future. It's Jameis Winston, as long as Jameis doesn't Jameis it.
That was such a great breakdown. Can you take your pick now?
Oh, I took Jameis.
There you go. Boom.
Oh, I'm sorry. I took Jameis. My bad.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Jameis. No, that's you. All right, man. I love it. I just learned something. I'm going to go with Jameis, too. You know why? Just because I want to see the narrative continue to swell about when Sean Payton says, well, I don't put all of the turnovers that he had in Tampa Bay on Jameis Winston. And I want to see how Bruce Arians continues to handle all this if Jameis has success.
Indeed. Next up, 2 quarterbacks that have had very difficult seasons, but for completely different reasons. Cam Newton, Deshaun Watson, Pats, Texans.
It's easy for me, Cam Newton. I'm taking Cam in this situation. I think this team has a feeling that they're going to be in the playoff hunt. They win this game. They're 5-5. They take on an Arizona team a week from now. So I'm taking Cam.
He made his pick.
Yeah, he made, and he made it with conviction.
I learned very quickly.
I'm going with Cam too. Look, obviously he's a dynamic quarterback that doesn't need to throw the ball a lot and still finds his way in the end zone. So I want to see Cam continue to win. Yeah. I want to see Deshaun win, but I like the direction the Patriots are going, win their last 2 in a row.
Those antics by Cam, I don't like.
Too much celebrating. I don't like those suits.
Wins over the Jets and the Ravens. We'll talk about Baltimore here in just a minute. This is an eyebrow raiser. Rodgers and Rivers, Packers, Colts with Indy favored by 2 points. Our gambling expert, Joe Fortenbaugh, here at 8:10 a.m. Eastern. We'll ask him exactly why that is. What does Vegas know the rest of us don't? But take your pick before then. Rodgers, Rivers, Packers, Colts.
This is an oldie but goodie against each other. I'm taking Aaron Rodgers, though, in this situation. And it's simple. Rivers, Rodgers. Rivers, Rodgers. That's it.
Just listen to it.
Yeah.
Just listen to it.
Rivers, Rodgers. That's all I'm going to say. Who would you rather have?
It sounds like some kind of convenience store. What's the spread again on this one?
-2 for the Colts. -2. Colts favored by 2.
And the game's in Indy, right?
That's correct. Late afternoon, Sunday afternoon.
Devontae Adams banged up. Lazard coming back.
You know what? I think Phillip Rivers needs to show me a little bit bigger body of work other than just one good game he had against the Titans. We were talking about benching him literally before that game. Continue to prove that, so I'll go with Aaron Rodgers.
So late Sunday afternoon, we'll see those two. Sunday night, we'll see Mahomes and Carr, with Mahomes looking for revenge and Carr
like
and
Rivers
company.
Rodgers.
Yes, indeed. Rivers runs through it, but we're both taking Rodgers. Mahomes and Carr in the rematch on Sunday night in Vegas.
I'm gonna take Carr. I'm gonna roll with Carr. I think John Gruden is on to something in Oakland, in Vegas. In Vegas, not Oakland. Yes, I do know that, so don't tweet Jay Will talking about I don't know what city they play in. And when you look at it, they went out there and ripped the hearts out of Kansas City in Kansas City, sprinkling pepper all over the field with the Carr to Ruggs connection, the Carr, the Aguilar, Waller connection, Jacobs running the ball. This is going to be a great game, much like the game we saw last night between Seattle and Arizona.
I'm going with Mahomes here. I've already been a Chiefs fan. Love Kelsey. Love the way these guys play. Love Tyreek Hill. Love all their weapons. I know that the Raiders got a hold of them the first time. This is a revenge game. Plus, the more I hear our producer, James Steele, talk about Kansas City, I mean, KC, I'm a big fan. I'm going with them.
Indeed. James is a huge Chiefs
Shout out to
fan.
James Steele.
Yes. And shout out to Gates Barbecue. Goff
Who?
and Brady.
What?
Nothing.
That's messed up, man. You cold.
Goff and Brady. Now, this is the Super Bowl rematch we were talking about. It's not exactly New England and the Rams 10-3. It's the Rams and the Bucks with these two guys on ESPN's Monday Night Football.
Here's what I would say. I'm taking Jared Goff in this game. And the reason I'm taking Jared Goff is because I believe he needs to bounce back and show that he's the $100+ million quarterback that they gave him the money to be. He struggled at times a little bit this year. I don't want to see a first half Buffalo. I don't want to see a Miami Dolphin game. You're going up against a defense in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that a lot of people were praising at the beginning of the year, but has come back to the party. The last 3 games for the Buccaneers defense, they've been getting torched and shredded. I don't care about what they did against Carolina because Carolina's offense is somewhat stagnant. So I'd like Goff in this situation. I just do.
I'm just so confused by Jared Goff, and we keep talking about this. You know, I know obviously you get to the Super Bowl, they give you a huge paycheck, but he's just been so inconsistent. I don't know which one shows up. I mean, if I'm going back to the Dolphins game, I was like, that ain't the $100 million Jared Goff, but then he looks good against Seahawks in their secondary. So with this one, I will go with Tom Brady. I think whenever Bruce Arians says something crazy about Tom, he responds usually by winning 2 to 3 games in a row.
Just want you to know that defense of the Rams is not that defense of Chicago. He held up 4 fingers against Chicago. He may be holding up 8 against the Rams. Just so that you know.
That's right.
We'll see what happens on ESPN's Monday Night Football. With an extra note, if you didn't hear this, I think this is as big as the game in some ways. The first all-black officiating crew in NFL history on Monday Night Football between the Bucks and the Rams. How about that? Really great move by the NFL. They've been criticized.
I'm glad you mentioned that again because I totally.
I'm going to have much more on it Monday before the game. There's so many interesting things to get into with
Wow, that hasn't happened yet?
First all black, yes.
Like it's never happened?
Never happened.
No, all black.
I understand.
Not one.
I mean, it's been all white for. I thought it would. You know what I mean? I thought it already happened. Right. But apparently not. Okay, I got it. Wow.
We had to gather enough.
What year are we in?
Man, we had to gather enough. We had to gather enough black officials so that we could put a crew together.
Yeah,
that's all.
I got you.
Indeed. The crew chief, Jerome Boger, has been one of the most respected NFL officials for a long time. So, again, much more on that Monday. I think it's a pretty cool accomplishment.
What's wrong with you, man?
Last one. We still got to get to one more here. I mentioned the Ravens. Tannehill and Jackson, Tennessee and Baltimore in that big playoff rematch.
I know, man.
This game just.
Here's what I would say. Take a Lamar Jackson. But I don't want to hear him make no damn excuses as to why they lose the game. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it's raining. I don't want to hear they know this play call. Yes, it rains in Baltimore. It rains in Foxborough. It rains everywhere. It rains in Tennessee. Everybody has to play in the same environment. I don't want to hear that. And yes, teams are going to, from time to time, call out or guess on what formation and what play may be coming. Answer the bell. Give the critics something to not talk about. I'm taking Lamar.
What's the Ravens' record?
They are a 6-3 football team. One of 6 teams in the AFC that is 6-3.
Crazy that amount of criticism for a team that's 6-3, but I get it. That's the world we live in. I'll go with Ryan Tannehill here. Just because I think the pound, the run game of Derek Henry, this team has a lot to prove. So does Baltimore. I understand that. And maybe Baltimore has more athletic